I just wanted to make an update on the secondary farming area where we've sown crops which would grow strictly on rainfall without irrigation, etc. I'd made some videos about this before, showing the tractor planting these crops, etc. It was about a month ago. So I'm just going to show you the field, and I'm just going to show you the individual crops as well, and just tell you a few interesting things that's going on. All right, let's get into it. So this entire area that you see is planted. It's around 7 to 8 acres. And as I had told you guys last time, it's actually a completely mixed plantation of jowar, bajra, mung, til, guar and chora. So a month in, there's a good amount of growth. Just to let you know, there's not been a lot of rainfall, so I was a bit worried about how well these crops are going to do, but they seem to be doing well for now. I hope there's a bit more rain, but even if there isn't, I'm told that there'll be some production at least. It won't be a total failure, which is the advantage actually of mixed planting, right? Because even if one crop does fail, the others will come up. And if you see, they're very, very closely spaced together. Okay, let's look at the individual crops now. Oh, I didn't mean to lock the exposure. I don't know what the camera is doing. Anyway, this beauty is jowar. Okay, you know by the broad leaves. This one, shadow, this one is bajra. It's got the narrower leaves. This one is tal, sesame, all these guys. And so I'm not super good at identifying the pulses, the legumes, because they all look so similar. But this guy, for example, is either mung, guar or chora. This guy, then these guys right here. Okay. So anyway, it's I love coming here and exchanging energy with the plants and all. Like, I actually do that, and it's wonderful. And it might sound strange, might be placebo, whatever, but one day I really sat down to exchange energy with the plants, and then I came back the next day and there was a lot of growth. So I don't know if you guys believe that, but it did happen. Anyway, one very interesting thing. So if you see here, we had actually put some sand on top of the clay. It is part of a road that we're going to make later. The sand that was excavated from the pond digging. And wherever we put sand, so there's a layer of sand about say 6 inches thick. So wherever we've done that, the growth has been absolutely explosive. Like, look at this guy and look at this guy. These are the biggest specimen on the entire property. Basically on the bits where there's sand on top of the clay that is usually there, so we put the sand here. Very, very interesting. I would say it's like double or triple the growth easily. Like, if you compare this area where it's just clay, and I'll show you a representative jowar plant. All right, so if you check this guy out and see the size, I'll compare it to my hand for reference. All right, and now look at this guy that's growing in the sand. Absolutely stupendous. Look at this. Crazy. So definitely has my gears turning, and this is why experimentation is so essential. Experimentation, observation is so essential. Like, look at all these crops growing on the bare clay. It just doesn't compare at all, and consistently the sandy bits have better growth. However, I must note that I'm not talking about the bits that had deep sand that were there already on the property. Okay, those bits are doing the worst actually. I might show you that in a second. I'm strictly talking about the areas where we put about 6 inches of sand on top of the clay for other reasons. But this gave us like an insanely important learning. So my theory is that the sand, because it's got air pockets in between the sand particles, right? So it acts as an insulator, whereas the clay becomes hard and compact, right? So the hard and compact clay will actually, first of all, drain the groundwater or the water that's in the soil much quicker. So drying up the soil quicker. Like the surface evaporates, and then because of capillary action, um, it pulls up the moisture that's in the soil back to the surface, which evaporates again, so it dries up quickly. Then the other reason is that the roots grow very quickly in the sand, obviously. Um, yeah, so insulation and better root growth is my theory. There might be other reasons as well, I'm not sure. So anyway, this is the field. Should get good production from this in another month or two. Just to note that the known issue with this way of planting, by the way, the plants seem really happy together. Okay, and by the way, number two, these are weeds. You see these guys, they got little thorns and stuff. These are weeds, and there are other grasses and stuff growing. I've decided not to go too OCD about this, because if something wants to grow here on its own, there's a reason for it. There'll be some kind of over nutrition of some particular type in the soil that the plant is exploiting, and so on. So I'm not going to be OCD about this. If they are impacting the plants adjacent, then I'll remove them manually by hand. No herbicides. Damn. But if they're not causing any problems, like this guy over here, not harming nobody. Okay. The only issue is that when they fruit, etc., they'll create offspring next year, right? So that's the only issue. But let's see. I don't want to go on a mass genocide on these plants unless it's absolutely necessary. And at the end of the day, they're creating biomass, which will be mixed back in the soil when we till it, and will increase fertility and moisture retention and so on. So yeah, gonna chill with the weeds and stuff. It's not too much anyway. One day, if anyone's like interested, I'll explain how weeds are actually controlled in our regular farming setup. It's actually pretty interesting and very automated. You don't have to put too much effort into it. So anyway, that's the entire secondary growing area that we're going to do strictly on rainwater and no irrigation and so on. I just wanted to show you one quick thing. This is the biggest tree on the site. It's a Desi Babul tree. It's got thorns and stuff, but it's obviously big and it's got a lot of shade, which Missy is exploiting, as you can see. This is our chilling spot here. Gives us a view of the entire property. So that's the main farming area. Okay, we're still working on that. That's why I made the trench and shared the video and so on. We're still working on that. This has all been leveled and so on. We're waiting for rain actually to plant there. And this is the secondary area where we've actually done the planting. It's going pretty well, if I do say so myself. Okay, so I'm gonna share an update on the pond shortly. It's not very good news, but yeah, I'll catch you guys in a bit. Bye.